only 2.4% of TED Talks ever go viral, and only 0.03% of TEDx Talks. Those are your chances if you don't know what actually makes a talk shareable. So how to do a TED Talk that people love? Here's what most people get completely wrong. They're focused on their topic, delivery, slides, body language, all the surface stuff. And those things are important, but they're not why people share a TED Talk. In this video, you'll know how to do a TED Talk from scratch and why most people fail before they even start. I'll walk you through 7 steps that will help you give a TED Talk that gets attention and builds your credibility. But here's the thing. Most people mess up at step 1. They think a deep personal story or a solid framework is enough for a TED Talk. They start preparing their speech around that. That's not even close to the whole picture. A good TED Talk leaves a lasting impression, the kind of where you finish watching and immediately want to tell someone about it, or where it changes how you thought about something for years. If you take one thing from this video, it's this. A great TED Talk is built around one idea clearly understood and impossible to forget. Everything else is secondary. Here's what most people do instead. They focus on their topic and on looking good on stage. But they're not why people share your talk. People share ideas. It seems simple, but it's one of the biggest challenges even for professional speakers. The challenge is to clearly express this key idea worth spreading so people would get it right away without guessing. It's cool, but what was it all about? What did a TED Talk speaker mean by this TED Talk? To find your big idea, pick a TED Talk topic first. This is step 1 in how to do a TED Talk. Most speakers think that they have a great idea. What they actually have is a topic, and there is a big difference. Let me give you a very popular example. Let's say you want to give a talk about leadership. So you pick a topic, how to be a better leader. You even have a framework to share in a kind of Simon Sinek style. But if you carefully look at Simon Sinek's TED Talk, you will see a clear distinction between a TED Talk topic and a big idea worth spreading. His topic is helping people to be better leaders. The title is How Great Leaders Inspire Action. But his big idea is people don't buy what you do, people buy why you do it. The difference between a topic and an idea in a speech is that a topic is what you talk about. A big idea is what you want people to believe, feel, or do after hearing you. It's what they can share. A topic is usually broad and neutral. Things like be a better leader, build confidence, or be more productive. Those are topics. They describe the overall message. If you stop at this topic level, your talk becomes informational instead of impactful. A big idea is specific and directional. It says something and gives meaning to the topic. For example, a topic is resilience. A big idea is resilience isn't something you build by being strong. It's something you build by being honest about when you're not. That's why speakers like Simon Sinek and Brené are still being quoted years later. They didn't just present topic. They built their entire talk around one clear, specific idea. So once you know your topic, your next question is, what's the one thing you want people to walk away with? That's step 2 in how to do a TED Talk. Define your big idea. Your big idea is the central insight you want to share, the one thing you would want someone to repeat to a friend after watching your talk. If you are serious about learning how to do a TED Talk, this is where you start. Think about, what do you know to be true that most people haven't heard yet? And here's the test. If you can't say your idea in 1 or 2 clear sentences, you're not ready to build the TED Talk yet. And I mean a specific sentence, not a vague one. Something that would make a stranger say, tell me more. In public speaking, a big idea is one key insight of the speech that you want people to remember, and you highlight it over and over again from different angles. In the TED world, it's also called through line. Think of it like the spine of your talk. Every story, every fact, every moment has to connect back to it. The through line is not your agenda or your outline. It's the invisible thread that makes the audience feel like everything you're saying is going somewhere. The speakers who struggle on stage, even if they are smart and passionate, usually have the same problem. 5 ideas instead of 1. Or interesting moments that go nowhere. And the audience feels it. Those parts can be interesting, but people lose focus. They disconnect. Every single thing in your talk should earn its place. Does this story make my idea more believable? Does this data make it more urgent? Does this example make it more memorable? If not, cut it, even if you love it. This discipline separates good speakers from great ones. Now, once you have your idea, you need to build a structure around it. This is your next step in how to do a TED Talk. And this is where most talks start to fall apart. Here's something people don't think about when they are preparing a TED Talk. The popularity of your talk, how many views it gets and how much people share it, will depend heavily on how long people actually watch it. If you lose them in the first few minutes, they'll miss the whole point. The idea you spent months developing won't reach them. It's like when you watch a YouTube video. Once it gets boring, you change to another video. And sometimes you don't even remember what you were watching. Have you had such situations? So your TED Talk structure needs to do one thing. Keep creating curiosity. And it's not just what happened next, but what does this mean for me as a listener? This is where a great story can be especially useful because it can involve people in your TED Talk. And it brings us to a step that most people underestimate. There's a specific storytelling technique that the best TED Talk speakers use. And you've probably heard, tell more stories. But here's what nobody tells you. It's not the story that keeps attention. It's the moment inside the story where the audience realizes something about themselves. The best TED speakers move in a constant cycle. Story, insight, idea. Story pulls you in. Insight makes you think. And then a speaker keeps you focused on the core idea from a new angle. You can mix these 3 elements, but they are always there. Sinek does this over and over in his TED Talk, How Great Leaders Inspire Action. He tells a story, pulls an insight from it, and brings it back to the same through line. People don't buy what you do, people buy why you do it. Let me ask you something. What was the last TED Talk you watched about? You probably don't remember the whole talk, but you remember the main idea. That's the goal. Adam Grant does it well too. In his TED Talk, The Surprising Habits of Original Thinkers, he shares a personal story, and then he presents the concept of originals. And then throughout his talk, he emphasizes how some people think differently and how ordinary people can do the same. The stories keep you engaged. The insights make you feel smart. The idea is what you remember. Now, here's the step in how to do a TED Talk that almost every first-time TED Talk speaker does not take seriously. And that's why so many people are nervous when they finally get on stage. Practice public speaking before you do a TED Talk. If you get accepted to do a TED Talk, you're speaking in front of over 1,000 people. If you do a TEDx talk, which is smaller, most of the time you are in front of 100 people. Only some TEDx events can host a large audience. That's a lot, especially if you have not done much public speaking before. But here's what I want you to understand. You don't need to perform a TED Talk. You need to believe it. Most speakers who move people are the ones who mean every word they say. So start practicing public speaking. Not just your talk, but speaking in general. Use every opportunity to speak. Start collecting and telling the stories that you can share in your TEDx talk. Try different public speaking techniques. Use intentional pauses, emphasize important words, add variety to your tone. These techniques also help to keep your audience engaged when you speak. But the next step is where people overcomplicate things the most when they think about how to do a TED Talk. Once your idea is solid, prepare all the information about your TED Talk and yourself as a speaker. Then fill out the TED Talk application. Now, TED and TEDx have different application processes, so let me cover both. If you want to do a TEDx talk, then you need to search for the events in your area or those that you want to apply for and submit the application for their event. All planned TEDx events are listed on the TED.com/TEDx/events. This is the official source. Each event runs its own application process, so once you find the one you want to apply for, check their specific requirements and submit directly to them. But before we get to the TED Talk application, if giving a TEDx talk is your goal, I have something that will make this whole process much clearer. I put together a free guide called How to Become a TEDx Speaker. It walks through the entire process of becoming a TEDx speaker. It also covers what information you need to prepare before you fill out any application. The link is in the description below. It's completely free, so check it out. Let's keep going with the TED application. If you're thinking about how to do a TED Talk at the main conference, you need to fill out the TED application. The TED conference has several programs that you can apply for. The main TED conference collects the applications through the nomination form. Anyone can nominate a speaker and do a TED Talk, or you can nominate yourself. But this is where most applications fall apart. Often, speakers try to describe everything their talk covers. Don't. Write a clear, compelling idea, why it's new, and why it matters to a general audience. After you submit a TED Talk application, it may take a long time before you get accepted to do a TED Talk, simply because the competition is very high. If you are selected, then TED conference organizers will contact you with further steps. You can additionally apply for other TED Talk programs if you fit their requirements. Now comes the most exciting part, the day you deliver a TED Talk. Once you get accepted to do a TED Talk, finalize your scripts and slides if you have them. Then, on the day of your talk, you step on stage, deliver it, and officially become a TED speaker. Your talk gets recorded, edited, and published on the official TED YouTube channel and TED.com website. From that point, it's out there in the world. People you've never met will watch it. Some of them will share it, some of them will quote it years later. It's a life-changing opportunity for many experts, and it can significantly boost your career. But for most people to do a TED Talk is a too high bar right now, so start with a TEDx talk. Here's something not many people know. TED curators are constantly looking for strong TEDx talks to feature as official TED Talks. That means you can give a TEDx talk and still get featured as a TED speaker, reaching a global audience. Such TEDx talks get a special note on the video. It's not easy to do a TED Talk or give a TEDx talk and get featured on TED.com website, but a TEDx talk can be your first step to a much bigger stage. So if you want to know how to do a TED Talk, start with an idea so clear, so simple, that someone else can repeat it without you. Because that's what turns a talk into something people share. If you plan to give a TEDx talk, the free How to Become a TEDx Speaker guide is linked in the description below. It will take you through the whole process step by step. And if you are curious about what makes a TED Talk go viral, watch this video next.